Today on Let's Fish TV, we are at Lay Lake. Lay Lake is located in central Alabama, and from what I'm told by the locals and the guides here, it is the crappie capital of Alabama. And I'm here to show you just why it is. I've been told that there's great numbers and big ones here in central Alabama, and I want to show you how to catch them on today's episode. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. Oh my gosh. Check that out.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Cobia, big one, and a monster.
Look at that. That's a Tawakoni giant.
This is Let's Fish.
Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we are at Lay Lake. Lay Lake is located in central Alabama and is part of the Coosa River chain. This place is known for its big spotted bass, but even bigger crappie. And today, that is what we are after. From what I've been told from the guides and locals here, this is the crappie capital of Alabama. And I cannot wait to show you just how good it is. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my boat launched, get everything set up. We'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. These Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity both days this weekend. Expect those prime daytime hours to begin around 2:38 on Saturday and 3:38 on Sunday afternoon, with top evening action starting at 2:13 post-midnight Saturday and 3:13 Sunday. Depending on your area, you can expect the sun to rise around 7:08 and set at 7:54. The moon will have 95% visibility. Stick around, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with the Bassmaster Elite Angler Patrick Walters to answer this week's Ask the Pro question.
Today we are on Lay Lake. Lay Lake is located in central Alabama and it's part of the Coosa River chain. You know, this place is loaded with big spotted bass and big crappie. Today we're gonna be targeting crappie, and as you can tell, we have a beautiful day. It's dead slick calm, high sun, no clouds, and it's a full moon, meaning the fish are gonna be moving, they're gonna be feeding. We're in the springtime of the year. This is gonna be a fun day. I can't wait to get out there and showcase just how great Lay Lake really is. Why is my drag so loose? There we go. I must have bumped my drag, guys. Oh yeah, that's a nice crappie there. Man, nothing better. Oh, there we go. Guys, today we're at Lay Lake, Alabama. And we're targeting these beautiful creatures right here, and that is crappie. You know, we're in the springtime of the year. The crappie are biting, the bass are biting, everything seems to be biting. And a nice Lay Lake crappie. Let's get this fish back real quick and we'll talk a little bit about Lay Lake and how you can catch them here. Man, what a nice crappie that was. And let me tell you, here at Lay Lake, they grow way bigger than that. You know, from all my buddies and all the guide friends that I know here, they always tell me this is the best crappie lake in Alabama. You know, this is actually part of the Coosa River chain. Has a lot of current rolls through here, but it also has a lot of those real big slabs. Funny story, I actually fished a tournament here a couple years ago. It was the first time I'd ever been here. And the second day of the event, I caught some of the biggest crappie I've ever caught in my life on a swim bait. You know, I was finding these fish on isolated timber, and I thought they were big bass, and I'd reel that swim bait by there, and I'd catch 1.75 pound to 2.5 pound crappie. In one day, I caught about 8 or 9 of those. And that's exactly the way I'm gonna fish today. I'm gonna be using my active target, my Lowrance active target, and we're gonna be fishing isolated timber, boat docks, and different types of cover, and sharing this cool adventure at Lay Lake. But hey guys, I found a good little crappie hole. I'm gonna see if I can catch me a couple more and show you maybe one of those real big Lay Lake giants.
I'm Matt Pangrek with the Bass Talk Live podcast, and this is your weekly fishing report for the state of Oklahoma. April means one thing, and that's crappie moving shallow as they prepare to spawn. Lake Eufaula, one of the known crappie lakes in the state, is absolutely on fire right now. you're going to want to target the south end of the lake with 55 to 58 degree water temps and 8 to 12 foot of water. Look for stretches of rocky shoreline or long clay points where those crappie are pulling up, getting ready to spawn. A 1/8 or a 1/16 ounce hair jig in white and chartreuse or white and pink should get the job done, either spider rigging using forward-facing sonar or casting and slowly reeling it in. Hey, if you want more information about fishing across the Sooner State and across the country, specifically bass fishing, check out the Bass Talk Live podcast every Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platform.
Here it comes. There we go. Oh, there we go. God, that's a good one there. That's a really good one. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. I've seen a couple of them down there that I know are good crappie, and we caught a couple of that 10-inch size as soon as we pulled up, and that one's probably around that 13-inch range. A really good, solid crappie, big old belly on that thing. But here in Alabama, and I'm just using that little bitty crappie jig. I'm gonna get this fish back though, and we're gonna talk a little bit about exactly the setup I'm using and the importance of having the right setup when you're targeting these fish. You know, when you're out here in Alabama and you're fishing for these crappie, especially when they are set up a little bit deeper, these particular fish are set up on one little bitty stump. I mean, this thing isn't this tall off the water, off the bottom, and I mean, there's 15 or 20 crappie just huddled around that one particular stump. But I like to stay back off the fish, use my Lowrance active target, locate where they're at. I'm actually backed up against the bank right now. I've got my power poles dropped, and I'm able to target these fish every cast on the exact same cast. I'm not having to run my trolling motor and spooking the fish. I'm staying off about 30 feet, so I'm not right over the top of them. And that's a really important aspect to pay attention to. But I'm gonna tell you guys, so if you've watched me over the last few years, one of my favorite crappie rods that Lew's has ever made was the Speed Shooter, green and blue reel and rod. And this year I switched up to the new Lew's Wally Marshall Pro Target rod. This is a 6.6 medium light. It's got that wind dry tack handle, which I absolutely love. It's super comfortable. The rod is unbelievably sensitive. And I'm pairing that on the Wally Marshall Signature Series spinning reel. This is a higher end crappie spinning reel, and it is one that I absolutely love. It has a very smooth drag for an inexpensive crappie reel, and that's what you need, especially with that 6-pound fluorocarbon. But having that 6.6 medium light, I'll even go to a 7-foot medium light, especially in a little bit deeper water or when I'm shooting docks. But that 6.6 is a great all around. I can cast the sausage spins up shallow. I can shoot docks. I can fish out here deep. It's one that I always have in the boat with me at all times, and it's just the one that I turn to in these particular situations. You know, this isn't a combo. This isn't one you can go to Academy Sports and Outdoors and buy the combo like this. You actually have to piece it together. So check it out. It's the Wally Marshall Pro Target rod. And you know me, I like lime green, and this one is accented with lime green, and I think it looks really awesome. And get you one of these Wally Marshall Signature Series reels, and you're gonna load the boat with some crappie. But I think it's really important, guys. I'm telling you, especially those light biting crappie, some of which we've had today, where it just loads up, you gotta have that sensitive rod so you can feel them. Take that to the bank, guys. I promise you, if you try that out and get you a good sensitive crappie rod, you'll feel them way more times than you won't, and you'll be able to catch them when they're not really wanting to eat. And that's what we're doing today.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion. Glacier outdoors since 1982.
Crappie, look at the size of that one. There we go. That's a nice one there. Man, oh man. There's a nice Coosa River crappie. Look at the size of that one. There we go. That's a nice one there. Man, oh man. We're here on Lay Lake, and you know, I sit there and say Coosa River crappie, I mean, because this is part of the Coosa River chain of lakes. That's a nice little crappie there. Right here off the main river channel. And it's really, really important to pay attention to generation schedules of the Coosa River. Right now they're pulling a little bit of current, and I was just talking to my cameraman about the fact of how they set up. You know, this is actually a down current point, and one thing that I noticed the last time I was here was they would still get on those down current places, but they'd get behind stumps. And you could use that active target and you could scan around those stumps and you'd be able to find exactly where they were set up. But you know, it's actually really unique, and not very many bass pros do this, you know, and that's what I do for a living as I fish tournaments, is I actually have a fishing specialties mount mounted right here. And it's an easy, quick disconnect. And this is something I still use in tournaments too, especially like St. Lawrence River, where it's really rough and I've got to anchor down with my trolling motor. I can still hook up my active target to this. I can hand control it, and I can lock in on my target and keep making the exact same cast. If I don't want to use that, I'd take the quick disconnect off, I load it into my rod locker, and I reconnect the one that's attached to my trolling motor. It makes life immensely easy. I can use it in 2 different situations, but that fishing specialties mount really makes it super easy to find these isolated stumps where these crappie are set up, and I'm able to load them in the boat. Another really nice crappie. Can't wait to get back out there, because I'm telling you, as soon as I pulled up on that point, it just lit up with a whole bunch of crappie. These are actually set up a little shallower, and I'm gonna be able to take that little crappie jig and probably catch a pretty nice one here. I saw some pretty good ones, so I feel pretty good about being able to lock back on here and see if I can catch another one.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the good folks at Costa Del Mar. Costa never stops improving and innovating, as seen in the new Corbina Pro model. Corbina's been in the lineup for a while, but they've made some improvements you need to check out on the web. Now, this week we're gonna run out to Lake Fork. The lake is up from where it was last year when they were working on the dam. It's come back several feet, and it's flooded a lot of grown-up vegetation along the shorelines. One thing you have to keep in mind, however, is that this time of year, a cool or cold front will affect how those fish act. Last week, great frog bite up in that vegetation. Cold front rose through, frog bite shuts down. This week, should have a good frog bite again, but if we get colder weather, just remember to slow down. Throw those jigs, throw those Texas rigs, focus in 10 to 3 feet of water up and down in that range until you connect with a fish. Later in the day, when it warms up, you may be able to go back to moving baits like your spinner baits or your traps and move them pretty quick. But early in the morning, you'll want to throw your Ochos and your Texas rigs and slow down, wait for the fish to catch up to the baits. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Here we go. Oh man, check out the size of the spotted bass, guys. I know we're out here crappie fishing today, but this is a pretty good spot here. Wow. Oh, little crappie jig. Whoa. Here we go. Check that out. Wow. I mean, like I said, I know we're crappie fishing today, but what a nice bass that is. Goodness gracious. It's almost a 3-pound spot. Just big blown out spotted bass. I actually saw this lay down over here and I just had to throw over there to it. I reeled that little lightning shad past it and it demolished it. I'd be willing to bet that fish was on a bed right there. Just the way how aggressive it was. You can tell how it's a little bit beat up on the sides. I'm gonna say this was probably a bedding fish, but it just goes to show you how good Lay Lake is. I mean, it has big largemouth, big spotted bass, and big crappie. Let's get this fish back a little bit.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Powerful. Total boat control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
Oh man, guys, this is a big one here. Oh yeah, that's a big crappie. There we go. Oh man, another really nice one. Look at that one. I got it almost under the boat and that fish just ran up there and smacked it. Look how deep that fish ate that crappie jig. It's just incredible to watch how these fish just come up there and hit that jig. I mean, another nice, just solid crappie, about a 13-incher or so. Get this fish back. You know, we're here at Lay Lake, and these Coosa River crappie are really hard fighting fish. And it's funny, you know, the way we used to crappie fish, you know, when I was growing up, you know, there was about 3 different ways we caught them. You know, you either went down the bank throwing a Roadrunner style jig head with a piece of plastic on them. You went and fished brush piles, and in the wintertime you'd fish channel bends. And that's just how we used to catch them all the time, at least from where I was. I know there's some people that have waded all around the shallow waters when they're spawning and jigged around or get in those big laydowns and dob around a little jig or a minnow. But Active Target has absolutely changed the way that we target crappie, or basically any species of fish, whether it be inshore, crappie, bass, white bass, striper, etc. But in the situation of catching these Lay Lake crappie, I'm using Active Target to my advantage to be able to spot the bigger than average crappie. Now, I've seen a few different schools of fish today that you could tell as soon as you saw them. You knew they were crappie, but they were really small. And when you'd catch one, they'd be a 9 to 10-incher. And in this situation, I rolled up to this particular point. I had some history on this spot, but I rolled up here, and as soon as I dropped the trolling motor and dropped my Fishing Specialties mount in the water, I was able to spot some larger than average crappie, and they're on these real isolated stumps. But one of the biggest keys to catching them here, this week especially, is fishing in really close proximity to the river, the actual river that runs through the lake. You know, there's a flat side of the lake and then there's a steep side. I'm on the steep side today. I think it's really important to stay in that little bit deeper water. I think those bigger crappie like to slide up and down. But really paying attention to those little details will help you load the boat. I got a few more minutes to fish. I'm gonna see if I can catch me a couple more. There we go. Oh man, guys, this is a big one here. Oh yeah, that's a big crappie. Heck yeah. This is what I've been looking for this whole time, right here. Ooh, check that one out. That's one of those Lay Lake giants. What a way to end the day. Look at the size of that one. I saw her coming there on Active Target. I mean, look at the belly on that thing. Just a beautiful, beautiful crappie. That's a great one to end the day on. Let's get this fish back real quick. It's a healthy, healthy fish. Let's get it back and we'll talk a little bit more about Lay Lake and how we've caught them today. Oh my gosh, guys, what an awesome crappie. What a way to end the day. I mean, that was an absolute tank. We've been catching a lot of that 12, 13, 14-inch crappie, and that one was quite a bit larger and really, really thick. I saw it coming on Active Target and I was like, you know, I've had that happen a few times. I was like, man, there ain't no way that fish is gonna eat it. And sure enough, he ran over that lightning shad and just boom. That was one, that's why I crappie fish. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, that is why I come out here and try to catch crappie for you guys. It is one of my favorite ways to catch them. And when you get that satisfaction, you get that awesome thump, you catch that really nice crappie that you have been targeting all day long, it just makes everything else worth it. You know, Lay Lake has definitely showed out today. The numbers have just been outstanding. I mean, there's been so many fish that we've caught, a lot of great keeper fish, and we capped it off with a really, really nice one there. Overall, I have zero complaints about today. We caught them doing something I really enjoy doing, using a bait that I'm really familiar with. 16th ounce. Pink head. I really like pink this time of year, and I'm more of a natural colored lightning shad, a Strike King Mr. Crappie lightning shad. And I think when crappie fishing, you gotta find that bait or that technique that you're comfortable with and just use it everywhere you go. You can basically take techniques like that and take them all across the South and Southeast. It's just, I've done it everywhere. I mean, this is a bait that I use from Toledo Bend to Florida, up to North Carolina, and everywhere else in between. But overall, guys, fantastic day. Make sure y'all stay tuned though. We're gonna talk about our baits, our rod reel setup, and why it's so important to have the correct setup when you're out here crappie fishing. But guys, that's a wrap. That was a good day.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Mamba Boats, Ride with Pride, Strike King, Taiwan On, Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on over to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Leo is wondering, what is the single most important thing you could tell a parent who's trying to teach their kid to fish? For an answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Patrick Walters.
The single most important thing I can tell a parent to teach their kid to fish or to want to fish is to make it fun, make it enjoyable. You know, don't make it so stressful or like, hey, you have to go out there and catch fish. You know, if you want them to get into bass fishing, start them out brim fishing. You know, start them out just fishing, going pond fishing down the bank, having fun, just catching fish. And you don't have to be out there all day. You know, a couple hours each day, it goes a long way.
Thanks so much, Patrick, for sharing that knowledge with us. If you want some help from one of the pros too, simply go to letsfishtv.com, follow that Ask the Pro link, and then you submit your question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
This week for your Academy Right Stuff, we're going to be talking about the Lose Wally Marshall Pro Target Crappie Rod. This is a 6'6" medium light action rod. It has an unbelievable balance and great sensitivity. It's not overwhelming when you set the hook. It's not going to break your line or pull the crappie jig out of the crappie's mouth. That's what you want in a great rod. It has a wind dry tack handle, which makes it comfort fishing all day long. But really the big deal here was the small 16th ounce Mr. Crappie jig head. Pink was the color. The bait itself was the Strike King Lightning Shad. The Lightning Shad is about 2 inches long in the blue ice color. And the blue ice is just the go-to color for me when the water gets really clear. You could substitute it with Blue Glimmer among others, but I just like the blue ice. It has a little bit of silver flash, but extremely natural in the water. I think that's one of the big keys to why I caught fish today. For more information, visit academy.com. Can't wait to come back to Lake. I promise you at some point we're going to be back here for Let's Fish TV. But until next time, I'll see you on the water.